Hey planner friends, it's Nia. Welcome to Life with Nia. Today we are doing a Q3 sinking funds update. So I am going to share where I am as of September 1st with my sinking funds and what I may have used them for, in part because some of my sinking funds were for things that I had to pay for during the year so far over the last 9 months or so. And also, like, where do I hope to be at the end of the year? So for my sinking funds, we will start with the emergency fund. So, and this sheet that I'm using is from the Budget Mom, and I believe it is a freebie on her resource page. So on September 1st, we started with $8,991 combined in all of our sinking funds. When I started my sinking funds at the beginning of the year, some of these I didn't have, and I will share that with you as well. So to start with, for the emergency fund, my goal is to get the emergency fund to $5,000. I will probably in 2023 change that, because I feel like $5,000 in January of this year is not $5,000 in September of this year with inflation and everything going on. So that is the goal for now. We have already saved $3,284. Truth be told, I'd probably be already at the 5,000, and I'm not sure that I'm going to reach the 5,000. But I did use money from my emergency fund multiple times this year to take care of PD. I have absolutely no regrets in doing that. I would do it again. For me, that was an emergency. Had I not taken care of him, he would no longer be here. So it was an emergency. So we treated it as such. And the follow-up things were not necessarily emergency. He had an emergency like visit, and then he had 2 cardiologist visits, and I could have possibly pulled that money from somewhere else, but I pulled it from my emergency fund. So that was close to probably like $2,000. So I would probably be at my goal had it not been for that. So the goal is to hit the 5,000 by the end of the year. I need 1,705 to reach that, which would be about $568 a month, which is pretty high. So I don't think we're going to hit that. I think we're going to end up around 4,500, and I'm okay with that as well. So that is the emergency fund. The next thing is the home fund. And I've kind of edited this a few times. At the beginning of the year, I was thinking like 15,000, and then I was like, that's super aggressive, like in a year. Let's change it to a year and a half. And like, that's probably super aggressive for a year and a half. And I've dipped into this for other things. I think my idea of 15,000 was just really grand. But I'm probably looking at June of 2024. Right now we're at 1,573, and I actually took part of that towards the end of September to cover. I wanted to pay down some debt, so I used it towards some debt payments. So it's actually a little bit lower, but we're going to go with 1,573 as of the recording of this video. Next is our travel and vacation fund. So for this, I'm really not actively saving for vacation and travel. I haven't been anywhere in 2 years and 9 months. Let's just be exact. The last trip I went on was January of 2020, and then the world sort of changed. So this is all $5 bills. There's a little bit of interest in there and some random things like recycling or cash rewards or something like that. Primarily, it's $5 bills. I think this year so far I've saved $340 in $500 bills. So I just continue to save the $5 bills each month, and we are at $775.72. I don't really have a goal per se. If I did have a goal, I would say like $5,000. I want to start traveling again. I don't know when I will, but I want to start traveling again, and I want to do more of a luxury travel. Even if it's just like a weekend getaway. I was recently looking at like plane tickets to Italy and Greece. Really, Italy was somewhere that I had wanted to go in 2020, and so that didn't happen for obvious reasons. And they were like $800. They were really, really inexpensive. And so, traveling is on my mind. I don't think that I will change anything from the $5 bills right now, though. So, $775.72 in travel. Car, my goal is $1,500. I think, without like looking it up, my deductible for comprehensive I know is $250. I think my collision deductible is $500. So I want to, should I have a car accident, have that covered. But primarily this is also used for car maintenance and car registration. So in July, this was wiped out. I had about $400, and I paid my car registration, and then the next day my car battery died. And so that was like a total of $450. It wiped me out, plus I had to cash flow some of it. So I am working to build that back up. Right now we're at $52.15. Next is taxes. There's really no goal for this. I just actively try to set aside money from my shop sales every month, not every month, but every paycheck, anywhere from 25 to 30%, so that I can pay quarterly taxes. And then I like to also have a buffer so that if I estimate incorrectly, I have extra left over that I can put towards any tax liability that I have. So right now the tax fund has $1,604. It was a little bit higher, but I did just pay quarterly taxes. Next is bulk shopping. So this is one where I add to it every month and I spend from it every month. So right now it's got $105, and I think the highest it's ever been is like maybe $300. So I typically go to Costco and or Sam's Club once a month. So, and this is also like when I go to the butcher, because it's bulk as well, I will use this sinking fund. So right now we're at 105. Really no goal for this one as well. I don't buy like, I don't go to Costco or Sam's Club and spend like $1,000. My bill is typically under $100. But I do like to stock up on certain things. So we typically put about $60 to $80 a month in here. Some months it rolls over, some months I spend some of it. It just varies. Petey's envelope is $220. And, I was just like thinking about it. I'm not really actively adding to it. I add to it I shouldn't say I'm not actively adding to it. I add to it every month. However, I pull from it every month to cover his medication, which ranges from $60 to $100 a month, depending on the month. Two of his prescriptions have to be filled every other month, and then one of them has to be filled monthly. And so just depending on which month it is, that determines how much it's going to cost me. When I have to fill all three, it's closer to $100. And so we just sort of hover around this $200 range. I also use his fund to cover his food and any other like little necessities that he may need. But like the vet visits, I was not using his envelope. He didn't have enough in his sinking fund to cover the vet visits. So that is why it came from the emergency fund. Next is business. So for business, probably mid-year I started doing something different. I was putting like maybe $50 a month in here and then spending from it when I needed to, primarily to cover sesh box items, but we started getting a telework stipend for work. So I used the first few months we were paid like 5 months in a bulk. So for those months that were paid, it was like a back pay. I used that to buy like some furniture and things for sort of like home office, which is I use for business as well. And then I take my telework stipend, which after taxes is about $31. And I also take still the 50, and so usually about $81 a month goes into this business envelope. Right now it's sitting at $31. I really don't have a goal for it. I did start a new fund, a new sinking fund for like an iPad, and so anything that I have in here coupled with the iPad fund, I would couple together when I'm ready to make a move on that. So I'm not looking to do anything major. I bought a lot of equipment earlier this year. I bought like industrial paper cutter that was a couple $100. I bought a laminator that was a couple $100. I bought several binding machines. So I bought 2 printers, a color printer and a laser printer, items to do foiling. I just really upgraded business related things this year. So like right now I feel like I'm in a good place and I don't foresee anything major happening with the business envelope other than like sesh box related stuff. And then when I buy papers between $400 and $500 sticker paper. So I pull from here as well. So that is that. So Christmas, the Christmas fund, the goal is $300 and we are currently at $310.63. My Christmas fund is primarily loose change every month. When I go to the bank to fill up my cash envelopes, I take all my change and I dump it in what is similar to like a Coinstar machine that my credit union has, and then it is deposited into my savings account. And so usually that's about $10 to $12. I had money in January. This envelope started with $209, so we've actually only added $100 this year. I didn't spend last year's Christmas money. Christmas for me is not a super big like gift giving expensive thing that I think that it is more so for other people. I'm primarily looking for a really nice meal, usually prime rib or something like that. And then my list of people that I gift to is very short. It's probably like less than 5. So I don't spend a lot of money for Christmas. I have all the decorations in the world. I do not need to buy any more. I like to buy them, but I don't need any more. So it's not an expensive thing for me. Birthday. So birthday, I think last year, I think I started in January, but I really don't remember. My birthday's in June, so in June I spent all of the birthday money. Typically I don't start the birthday fund again until January, but I decided to start it in August, and I'm just right now doing $10 a month, so it only has $10 in it. And that's just for me to enjoy my birthday month. Black Friday goal is $600. We are currently at $375. Probably going to be a little bit short on this one. There were a couple of months where I did not do the $50. I've been doing $50 a month to this envelope. So I think probably we'll end up at $575, which is not horrible. We'll see. But this is just for Black Friday shopping so that I can shop without guilt. So $375 right now for Black Friday. Self-care has been an ongoing thing. I had this up to a couple hundred at one point, but I've spent it and engaged in self-care. So right now we aren't contributing to anything to it because we're focusing on debt. But self-care, just if, you know, something I want to do for myself, that's what that's for. Clothing, no goal, ongoing. Right now it's got $50. I'm not a big clothes shopper, but certain items are expensive, so I find like underwear is expensive. And that's primarily what I buy. Or when I find like a pair of pants that I like, I will buy several pair. Or if I find a shirt that I like, I'll get several of them in the same color. But I'm not a clothes shopper. I probably have not bought any clothing in 6 months or more. Actually, that's not true, because I did buy a pair of leggings at Costco for like $8 last month, but that was only because I was stuck waiting for the pharmacy to open, and I should have left and came back, but I walked around aimlessly and spent $8, so here we are. P.O. Box. So P.O. Box, I've got a goal of $200. My P.O. Box, I thought it was going to be $150. It renewed in June of this year, and so we started the year out. I don't remember what I had in January, but I thought it was going to be $150. It ended up being $182. It will be $182 in June of 2023 unless the post office raises rates again. So my goal is $200 just in case, so I have a little bit of a buffer there. Right now it has $40 in it because I just paid it in June, and I'm putting $20 a month away. Sam's Club membership. Sam's Club raised their prices, so I think it was $50, might have been $45. And I think it only they raised it $5. I don't know. I put $60. But I know that it was $45 and they raised it to $50. So I have $60 here and I've saved $40. The rates don't go up until October 17th. So I'm trying to see if I can renew early, just like really to save $5. I want to know, can I renew early? I did that with Amazon Prime. I paid a year in advance before they raised the rate. So I was wondering if I could do the same thing with Sam's Club. So I have $40 saved. It's not due until January, so I will have more than enough before the due date, but I might check at the beginning of October to see if I can renew early. Costco, my Costco membership, because I have I guess it's Plus, it's $120, and this is due either in February or March. So right now we have $40 saved, and I am saving, I think, $10 a month. So I think once the Sam's Club is done, I'm going to bump it I'll take the $10 from Sam's and use it towards Costco to bump it to $20, because otherwise I'm going to fall short. I would have $100 saved instead of $120. So I just want to make sure it's covered. Amazon Prime goal is $140. Right now we have $50 saved, and same thing as the Sam's Club. I started in February, so I probably will do a bump for 1 to 2 months of an additional $20 to make sure that I hit the $140. Canva is $120. It's due in either February or March. Right now I have $50 saved. I think that Sam's Club, Amazon Prime, and Canva were all new sinking funds that I started in February. I paid those things in February for the annual, and so they're all going to be due around the same time. I also moved the money from these from these 4, Sam's Club, Costco, Amazon Prime, and Canva. I took the cash and I deposited it into my Ally account because I like to have cash on hand, but I think Ally's up to like 2.1% at this point, and so while that's not a lot, I've been earning about $10 to $12 a month in interest, so I will take it. I'll take all the free money that anybody is willing to give me. So iPad is a new thing that I added, I think in August. I'm just setting aside like a little $10 here and there. So right now it's only got $10 saved. And then these last two, Profit and Roth, are new. So these are for my business account. I read the book Profit first, and then I did a training where they were referencing the use of Profit first. So this idea is loosely based off of Profit first, but then this trainer's additional idea that she decided to do. So she was taking like 5% of her revenue and putting it towards profit, and 5% putting it towards Roth. So Profit First talks about putting it towards profit, but not towards a Roth. And so I was like, let me do that. Let me save some of my business funds. So there's not a set amount. It varies because it's based on my sales, my revenue. So far I've saved $115.27 to profit, and $104.50 to the Roth. Now I already have a Roth. I have like a $457 pension and like a Roth set up through my employer, but this is a separate Roth. I actually set it up with my Ally account. I have my Ally online savings, and then I have my Ally Roth. And so this is separate from that. So all of these sinking funds add up to $8,991 as of September 1st. And my goal is to be at 10,000 by the end of the year. My goal was actually to be at 10,000 at the end of September, but like I said, I pulled some money, so I know we're not going to hit it. But my goal is by the end of the year to be at 10,000, and then I'm looking at already sort of planning in my head what I want to do for next year. And I definitely want to, well, let me back up. So I know at the end of the year, like I'm thinking I want to hit 10,000, right? I know that I'm probably going to spend part of this 300, and I'm definitely going to spend the 600 because we're not going to miss out on no Black Friday shopping. So that's basically $1,000 right there that's going to go away. I think I skipped health. I didn't talk about it. My goal for health is 500 right now. It has 80. I have spent from that, and I have an eye doctor appointment in December where I know I will spend for that because I don't like to lose my benefit, so I use it every year. So that'll impact that as well. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. So I know that's like close to 1,000 right there that I'm gonna lose. So I really have to look at like 11,000 to hit my $10,000 goal. So that's, like a little over probably $2,000 by the end of the year that needs to be saved, considering what's coming in and what would be going out. Looking to 2023, I'm probably going to make the emergency fund goal. This is just me, like, brainstorming and thinking out loud. It's not set in stone, but I'm probably going to make this 8,000. I'm probably going to make this home goal more realistic, maybe 10,000. Those things are also dependent on where I'm at with the debt as well. The less I have to put towards debt, the more I can put towards savings. So I have to keep telling myself that. I will probably set up new Black Friday savings for me again. I love to shop during Black. That's like really, I'm not a shopper, but that's like the one time I like to shop, and primarily for planner crap. So there's that. And then I'm just like really excited to see where the profit goes and where the Roth goes over time. So that is what I have going on for sinking funds. I would love to hear what sinking funds categories you have. I'm trying to be like mindful to not add on a whole bunch of them. I will say every single last one that I have, I use, and they come in so handy. Just to have this sort of category that money is saved for, especially for larger priced things. So if you're not familiar with what a sinking fund is, I probably should have said this at the beginning, but it's for primarily for expenses that you know are coming, but are larger expenses that you can break down into smaller amounts and save each month, so that when the due date arrives, you're not having to pull a large chunk of fund to cover that bill. As an example, for some people, Christmas is expensive and you know that you're going to spend, let's say, $1,200. And so instead of charging up a credit card or trying to figure out how you're going to cover your $1,200 Christmas expense, you can save $100 every month for the year and have $1,200 at the end of the year to put towards your Christmas expenses. So I know for me, again, as an example, I know my Costco membership is $120. So if I have a year to save for it, I can take my $120 and divide it by 12 months in a year. And I know that if I save $10 a month, when it's due, I will have the $120 and I can just pay for it. And the money is there. It's really rewarding when the expense is unexpected, in my opinion. So while these are things that I expect that I'm saving for, when it's unexpected, it's rewarding because it's an inconvenience instead of an emergency. It's an inconvenience instead of panic mode. So when my car wouldn't start and I needed a car battery, if you've watched any of my videos, you saw my story. I didn't have to panic. I was inconvenienced and it was annoying because I had stuff to do. But I walked down the street to the auto parts store and I bought a battery. And then I carried it home like a clown. And then I couldn't get it installed. And then the guy at Les Schwab was like, you can't buy another battery. Why not? I got the money for it. I have a sinking fund. I didn't tell him I had a sinking fund, but I'm thinking to myself, because he wouldn't install one that came from somewhere else. Okay, well, I'll buy another one. Well, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to work for you. So I went to somebody I knew who was a mechanic and they took care of me and problem solved. But I was inconvenienced for a few hours. But I never had to worry about the money. And so sinking funds are amazing. I think that they're amazing and I wish that I did them sooner. So I would love to hear what you have sinking funds for, how they're going, any feedback, advice, critique, questions, or any info that you want to share. Post it down below. Thanks so much for tuning in for my Q3 sinking funds update. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.